and then coast into it. And also, you see the revs, they're all the way down to 0 when you press the gas down. So on this video, I'm going to show you how to drive a manual car properly, and I'm going to show you some of the wrong things that you might be doing and how to do them correctly. Let me know in the comments how many times I say the word brake or braking, and if you get the answer right, I'll choose one person to be the winner and I'll send you a prize. Let's go. So one of the first things that you need to do when driving a car is start it. And a lot of learners make this mistake of just doing this, and then they're thinking, okay, now the car's on. And then when they try to move now, thinking, wait, why is it not moving? Put the handbrake down, nothing's working. The reason why nothing's happening is because your car's not on properly. All those lights on the dashboard there show that the car's not on. And also, you see the revs, they're all the way down to 0. When you press the gas down, if the engine's on, the revs shouldn't be on 0. Let me show you what I mean. So if I turn the key properly all the way now, and now the lights come off, the only one that's left is the handbrake one, but that's gonna stay on until we release the handbrake. And now the RPMs are like around 1000. So if I press the gas as well, you can see that the engine's on. You can also hear it as well. So if it's too quiet, you more than likely haven't got the engine on properly. So you got to turn the key until you hear the engine fire up. And after you get the car started, the next step now is to get the car into gear. And then you're gonna see people doing this. Thinking, why is it not working? Losing lots of strength. Sometimes I've seen people even trying to do this with 2 hands. The gear stick doesn't require much strength to get into gear, by the way. And the reason why it wasn't working is because I didn't have my clutch all the way down. And sometimes even people try to do it without the clutch, just like this, without pressing it at all, or even just a bit down. It's not going to work either. Your clutch has to be all the way down, and then it's going to work. Okay, so now it's going to go into 1 nice and easily. Even with my finger, I can get into 1. So you don't need to be using 2 hands or using lots of strength to get into gear. Just as long as the clutch is down, push towards the left and then up. It should go into first nice and easily. Now, the next mistake that lots of learners make is once they got into gear, they straight away think, oh yeah, I've done it now. And then they relax and think, oh, what's happening? It's because the car's in gear. You can't just come off the clutch when the car's in gear like that, because you saw they tried to move and then eventually it's gonna stall straight away. What you want to do once you started the car, now the car's engaged in gear, you don't want to come off the clutch now, because if you do, the car will try to move. Instead, just keep your clutch down until you try to get to the biting point. And to do that, just bring it to the point where the car starts to make a bit of a noise. So like, see the revs going up a bit higher there. And also I can see the car dipping down a bit and the front is rising up. So that's how I know I've got the biting point. I don't want it any higher than that. Any lower than that, the car's not going to move properly. So just like there. And then once I do my checks and it's safe, I'll release the handbrake and then slowly bring the clutch up. Which brings us to the next mistake that a lot of learners or inexperienced drivers make, which is once they're ready to move now, they think, oh yeah, it's time to go. And then they lift the clutch all the way up like this and end up stalling. This is a common mistake, and inexperienced drivers don't realize how much time you need to spend on the clutch for it to work properly when you're moving off. If you come off straight away like that, you are going to stall, or it's going to go way too fast. You need to take your time. And in the beginning, you might want to use counting to help you out. So count to 3 or between 3 and 5 in your head as you're releasing the clutch. Let me show you what I mean. So now I'm going to put my clutch down properly all the way and get into gear nice and easily, get my biting point, do my checks. And then once I release the handbrake, 1, 2, 3, 4, as I'm releasing the clutch all the way up. So that way it was between 3 and 4 seconds. It was nice and smooth. If I do it any quicker than that, it's likely to stall or it's going to go too fast. So in a lot of cars, you can move off with just the clutch by itself, including this car. You can actually do it by itself without the gas. I'm not sure if you can see there, but it's quite shaky. It's making a bit of noise. The car's struggling to move off. To make this easier, to make it smoother, you want to be using the gas along with the clutch. Let me show you what I mean. So once you get the biting point, add a little bit of gas, and then that way bring the clutch up smoothly. It's going to be nice and smooth, and the car doesn't struggle so much. It doesn't shake as much, and you're less likely to stall that way as well. And in the long run, when you're trying to move off quicker, it's much better to use the gas and the clutch together. Even though you do want to use the gas, you don't want to use too much. So sometimes you see learners that are new using way too much gas, and this is going to be an issue. Let me show you what I mean. So before it wasn't enough, but if you move off using this much gas, so you see there's gone to like 3,000, 4,000, that's not a good way to move off. If you keep doing that, eventually you're going to smell your clutch, because that's how you burn your clutch. Using way too much revs at the biting point, you're going to burn your clutch, and eventually you're going to start smelling it in the car. So to avoid that, a good range to be in is between 1 and 2,000 RPMs. So when you're moving off, get the biting point first of all, and then set the gas to around 1 and 2,000, and then handbrake down. This is perfectly fine, and it's gonna get the car moving nice and smoothly. I think the sound of the gas scares a lot of learners, which is why they make this mistake of letting go of the gas way too early once they've pressed it. So let's say they're trying to move, they'll press the gas a bit and then hear it and then think, oh, that's too much, and then let go of the gas, and then they let go of the clutch as well because they get a bit scared. Don't do it like that. The car is not gonna go suddenly flying off just because you got the gas on. The clutch will control how fast you go as long as you do it properly. Let me show you what I mean. So once you have the biting point and you have the gas on, you wanna keep the gas on until you've moved off, until you've come off the clutch smoothly, and keep the gas on even more again to go faster. So you notice there, I didn't come off the gas, I kept my foot down on it as I'm moving off, and the car didn't fly off. It wasn't like out of control, it was still controlled and it was still smooth. Another common mistake that you see lots of learners doing is coasting around the corner. So like this one, for instance, they'll put the clutch down and then coast into it, and it's not very well controlled. And a lot of learners, when I ask them why they're doing this, they say it feels like the car's smoother, it feels like they're not gonna stall. It's like almost like a safety blanket for them. But the reality is, it's not safe at all. When you're turning, your gear should be engaged so that the gear can control how fast you go around the corner. Let me show you what I mean. So this time, instead of having my clutch down, I'm going to just control my speed with my brake and keep my clutch up while the car is being controlled by second gear. So I'll just brake gently and then turn into here with the clutch still up. Therefore, I'm not coasting into the turn and the car is being controlled by second gear. There may be some turns that are a bit too sharp for second gear, and in that case you can only use first gear. But the mistake that some people make is they're going to first way too early and then bring the clutch up like that, and then it's really jerky. When I went into first, the car was going a bit quick and the RPMs are still quite high. That's why it was really jerky. So to avoid that kind of mistake, you want to make sure you're going slower and the RPMs are around 1,000 before you go into first. Let me show you what I mean. So this time I'm going to slow the car down first, and then watch the RPMs go to around 1,000. Then I'll go into first and bring my clutch up smoothly. So this way I can turn nice and slowly and more controlled. See, if I was in second there, that wouldn't have worked, especially with those pedestrians there. I would have had to go either really quick towards them or come to a complete stop. But because I went into first on the approach, it was much easier. Which leads on to the next mistake that lots of people make when they first start learning to drive, which is forgetting to go into first before they move off. So we're approaching a junction right now, and we're going to turn right there. We are going to need to use first gear, otherwise we're more than likely to stall. Lots of inexperienced drivers in this kind of case, or even traffic lights as well, or zebra crossings, they'll be so focused on what's happening in the junction, okay, there's a car there, that they'll forget that the car's in second gear, and then they'll try to move and then end up stalling, and now that guy's waiting. It's because you are in second gear. Okay, so to avoid that kind of mistake, practice and train your body to get into first as you're approaching certain stops. Let me show you what I mean. So this time I know I'm going to stop or have to go really slowly to check this junction out, and I need to get into first for that. So instead of leaving it until I stop, I'm going to slow down. Once the RPMs go low enough, I'll put my clutch down and go into first on the approach before I actually come to a stop. And then I can check, and then if it's clear, I can make my move. So if you practice doing this all the time, getting your body trained to go into first on the approach before you come to a stop, eventually it's going to get easy. You won't even have to think about it anymore. Your body will just know what to do by itself automatically. So there's a little Polo there. But that was my first car actually. So let me know in the comments, what was your first car? Or if you haven't got a car yet, what's your first car going to be? What do you plan to buy as your first car? Let me know in the comments, because I'd like to see what kind of cars people are getting as their first cars. When it comes to braking, lots of inexperienced drivers confuse whether to brake first or clutch first. So like in this case, I'm in second gear right now, RPMs are above 1,000. What you see some learners do is they'll clutch first, and then afterwards they'll start to brake. And you saw there, when I pressed the clutch, nothing was happening with my speed. And in some cases, it's gonna go even faster, especially if you're going downhill. In second gear, really what you should be doing is braking first before you press the clutch. Let me show you what I mean. So like now, if I press the clutch first before I brake, because I'm going downhill, you see the car's going even faster now, it's going above 20 almost. But if I brake first, watch the difference. If I brake first, you see, straight away the speed gets reduced. And then once the car gets to like around 1,000 RPMs, then I can put my clutch down and go into the lower gear. So now I can be prepared in first, check both sides, and then make my move. So in 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to be braking first and then clutching after, which leads on to my next mistake, which is braking first the wrong way. So in first gear, you notice that I said the other gears, 2 and above, you should be pressing the brake first. In first gear, sometimes people, in this case, would brake first and then try to go for the clutch afterwards. But then you see, it's too late, the car stalls. And you notice that just before it stalled, when I'm driving here, like at this sort of pace in first gear, the RPMs are already below 1,000 or just around 1,000. And any lower than this, the car is likely to stall. That's why you want to press your clutch first. So if I brake first now, watch the RPM start dropping. Yeah, you see they're dropping there, and then the car is violently shaking, about to stall. So to avoid that, when you're stopping in first at this sort of speeds, you want to clutch first, watch the RPMs this time. You see the RPMs stay where they are, they don't drop. And then that way, the car doesn't stall. So whenever you're in first and you're going really slowly, like those sort of speeds there, or you're parking, or you're in slow moving traffic, you want to be pressing the clutch first and then afterwards braking. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want for the future and what kind of questions you have so that I can answer them for you in the next video. And also thank you everyone who's been subscribing. We are now on over 100,000 subscribers. So thank you so much everybody. Waiting for the little plaque to come. And when it comes, I'm going to show you guys. So proud of you guys for getting us to that milestone. So thank you everyone. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.